reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-758-5360.
What's happening? What does it mean? Why is it important? We've got the answer. AM560, the answer.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lisa Lucera. At least 4 dead after 2 planes crashed into each other on their way into an airport in San Diego County.
CAL FIRE and the City of San Diego Fire Department began receiving multiple reports of a mid-air collision on Highway 125 just east of Otay Mesa. When the first arriving unit got on scene, they reported 2 aircraft down, both fully involved with fire into the vegetation.
CAL FIRE Division Chief Nick Schuler, the Saberliner and Cessna 172 were headed into Brown Field, a former Naval Auxiliary Air Station about 50 miles southeast of downtown San Diego near the Mexican border. 1 person killed, another hurt in a small plane crash on New York's Long Island. The single-engine plane came down on a railroad crossing, suspending service on the busiest commuter rail system for hours.
This really tragic incident could have been obviously much worse. There was no train going through at that point, but the crossing was open. So, there was a possibility there could have been cars going through, but we don't have any report of that.
Long Island Railroad spokesman Salvatore Arena. Rescue officials say a search plane has spotted the wreckage of an Indonesian passenger plane that went missing with 54 people on board. The crash happened in bad weather in Indonesia's mountainous easternmost province of Papua. Donald Trump wants more than a wall to keep out immigrants living in the country illegally. The Republican presidential hopeful calling for an end to what he calls birthright citizenship for their children.
It'll work out so well. You will be so happy. In 4 years, you're going to be interviewing me and you're going to say, what a great job you've done, President Trump.
On NBC's Meet the Press, the League of United Latin American Citizens issuing a statement calling Trump's plan nothing more than a restatement of old proposals from the far right, not based on fact, today's immigration laws, or the U.S. Constitution. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Nikia Nichelle taking a look at traffic. We now have a backup inbound on the Edens at 2E to Peterson. It's 22 to Montrose from Lake Cook, 19 on the opposite side. Also, the eastbound Eden Spur is stop and go at Waukegan. It's now 25 minutes to downtown from O'Hare. Coming inbound on the Kennedy, also at North Avenue, there's a disabled vehicle blocking the center lane, which might cause some delays. It's 21 minutes on the opposite side to O'Hare from downtown. Inbound Ike is slow at Ashland to the Circle, a half an hour to the Post from Thorndale, 29 on the opposite side. No complaints on the Stevenson as well as north or southbound on 55. It does jam up inbound on the Ryan at Pershing, 22 downtown from 95th. On the flip side, you'll see delays at the Circle, 247, with 16-minute trip to 95th from downtown. It's 83 degrees and clear, tonight's low 73. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually all your firearms the same day. You can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, or compete in a 3-gun match. You can exercise that rifle out to 600 yards, even engage in a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. Do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Whether you're a novice looking for a basic course or an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, even if you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, such as IDPA or cowboy action shooting. Spend an enjoyable day with the family at the Aurora Sportsman's Club, the only shooting facility in the region that offers all of that and more. If that sounds interesting, don't miss the next orientation and a tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois. Call the membership department at 815-264-9000 extension 44 for information. That's 815-264-9000 extension 44 to join a one-of-a-kind shooting facility, the Aurora Sportsman's Club.
Every month, Heather Cook helps dozens of people file claims for life insurance bought through SelectQuote. The stories she tells are inspiring. Like this one about Joe, a 39-year-old research analyst. Joe was healthy, but with a wife and 2 sons, he realized he needed life insurance just in case. Joe called SelectQuote. His agent, Scott, shopped a number of highly rated term life companies, and though Joe's budget was tight, got him a $1 million policy he could afford. Last April, Joe died from heart failure. But thanks to his life insurance through SelectQuote, his family can keep the house, and the boys can go to college. See how affordable SelectQuote can make just in case for you.
For a free quote, call 1-800-979-5539. 1-800-979-5539. 1-800-979-5539. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be looking at Obama using Social Security to disarm Social Security recipients. Obama doubling down on using the United Nations to undermine Congress. The federal judge who told the president to stop granting amnesty immediately. And how bad guys have learned they can now use SMS text messages to hack into your vehicle and take control while you're driving. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook and like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
Let's face it, advertising works. If it didn't, it would be a $540 billion industry. The problem with advertising is it works whether we want it to or not, or even if we don't know it's working on us. We are constantly being bombarded by overt and subliminal advertising everywhere we go. I'm not talking about flashing the word popcorn for 1 second in a movie. That type of subliminal advertising has been debunked. I'm talking about what the public is being fed on television, in the movies, and more recently in video games. There are common themes about sex, politics, law enforcement, the military, and religion, for instance, that for decades have been slowly desensitizing the American public about things we wouldn't have accepted 50 years ago. When you look back at the television shows of the 1950s, most of them were morality plays. Father Knows Best always had a positive lesson to be learned. The Lone Ranger affirmed the triumph of good over evil. Television taught our youth the necessity of honesty and integrity, hard work, racial tolerance, and justice for all. Slowly but surely, the anti-hero rose to prominence with Bogart's Philip Marlowe, Eastwood's Dirty Harry, and Pacino's Michael Corleone, supplanting the morality play. And then came video games, which so drastically infused a tolerance of anarchy that kids grew up thinking killing cops got them a better score. The lessons learned from all this have not gone unnoticed by the political animal. If you watch advertising by any candidate these days, it's all contrived crap to tell you what you want to hear to get them elected. It's not about a candidate's deepest convictions. Meanwhile, every other form of media is a manipulation of words and images designed by some social scientist to shape the collective consciousness toward a global governing system. If you doubt, take a look at last election. Republicans told us what we wanted to hear, but when they gained control of the Congress, you couldn't tell that Harry Reid had been ejected. Nothing changed because the two-party system is a hoax. Sure, they throw us a few scraps to make us think they're on our side. But when you look at it closely, it's smoke and mirrors. If you're a liberal, ask yourself this question. Are blacks really better off today than in 1963 before multiple trillions of dollars were spent on entitlement programs? I don't think so. If you're conservative, are your civil rights better today than even 20 years ago? Not so much. The fact is, Americans have been conditioned to rely upon television and the subcontext of movies to determine what we should think in our daily lives, and almost all of it is controlled by liberalism. We have become infused with a level of tolerance that conservatives of 50 years ago would have viewed as gross liberalism. That the likes of Chris Christie or Jeb Bush would even be considered on the Republican ticket is anathema to true basic conservative values. To be sure, there are conservative firebrands like Joe Walsh, but like Joe Walsh, they often get marginalized, get pushed out by the ruling elite. Just look at how both liberals and conservatives are lining up to kill Donald Trump's bid for president. Trump will not be trumped. He can't be bought. And that's not in keeping with a ruling elite's idea of governance. The reward for being president is golfing all over the world, having Hail to the Chief played when you walk onto convention floor, and getting very, very wealthy. It is not about wielding power. That's what those who hold your strings get. We have the most important election in the history of our nation coming up next year. If liberalism is allowed to continue, I fear the result will be an irrevocable change in the very core of this country. If conservatives don't put an end to this alarming trend, there is no doubt but that we will lose the very essence of what has made America the greatest nation on earth. The concepts of triumph, of good over evil, honesty and integrity, hard work, racial tolerance, and justice for all. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
I hope it's not too late. I fear that it is, but I hope you're right. I hope it's not.
This president has, I was going to say gone out of his way. Actually, I don't think it is out of his way. I think this is his way.
That was exactly where he intended to go.
Yeah, it's astounding. So, and now the latest thing is the VA and Social Security. Try with both of them.
Yeah.
There's no due process to this.
No.
They talk about if you are incompetent, and they decide what that means, and they're tying it to money, your finances.
Sure.
The whole Social Security one, they kind of backpedaled though.
They are, yeah. Several congressmen, both senators and representatives, have sent letters to the Social Security Administration, the acting commissioner, and basically told her cease and desist. You know, she's probably getting orders from the top, from the Obama administration, and the two branches of Congress basically said, we see you, we see what you're doing, and don't do it.
Yeah, it's typical Obama. You're listening on Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Do you think we're losing, do you think the media is brainwashed us over all these years? Literally when I was a kid, which is before you were born, but when I was a kid, the shows were. If you go back and watch the 50s TV, because it's real popular, they got two channels, I think, of all the 50 shows.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than that.
Oh, is there? Okay, well, but the point is that every show literally had this moral ending. I mean, they taught people what morality should be.
Yeah. My dad used to watch Gunsmoke ad nauseum, and that was definitely a morality play.
Black and white, no question about it.
It was very, very clear.
And here's the thing. Everybody knows the world is not black and white. I mean, and back in the 50s, people knew the world wasn't black and white. But the point is you were teaching, particularly kids, you were teaching kids there was a right and a wrong. And although people don't always live up to it, they had that grounding where they knew what they were doing was wrong. That's like gone.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The moral relativism it's pervasive. I mean, it's everywhere you look. Even in church, people rely on moral relativism. It's like, no, if you believe in the Bible, there is no such thing. It's black and it's white, and there are some gray areas even with the Bible, but yeah, in general, there's not. I mean, it takes out a lot of that.
Well, and we've talked before, Richard Nixon is a good example. Okay, so he did some tricky dick stuff and it was wrong. It was illegal. When he got caught, he was humiliated.
Right.
Literally humiliated.
Right.
And did the fond farewell.
Resigned. And yeah.
I mean, he got caught with his fingers in the till and then, okay, time to go home. Now it's like a badge of honor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like, how long can I get away with it for? Like Hillary Clinton. Oh, my gosh, she's been getting away with it for decades.
Which brings up another whole subject is Hillary Clinton. How can this woman even consider running for president? How many scandals has she got going?
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know. I mean, it depends on how far back you go.
And they talked about Bill was the wild card.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I'm surprised that she actually had the chutzpah to run for president because you have to know that it's going to make people dig even deeper into your closet where you keep your skeletons.
Yeah.
And how she thought she was going to keep some of this stuff secret is really a mystery to me because some of it's so obvious.
The thing is I'm not totally sure that she cares. Did you see what she said in the press today? She goes, the people don't care about the email thing. The people don't care about that. Whether or not that's true is open to debate. But it's interesting that her perspective would be she's above all that. Well, okay, but people don't care about that. Yeah.
Right.
And
well,
Benghazi,
there were a couple of people that cared when General Petraeus did it. So I'm guessing that there's probably going to be at least a handful of people that care that the Secretary of State did it.
Funny you should mention that. But they were after Petraeus.
Yeah, but
they were trying to axe him.
Well, we're after Hillary.
Well, yeah, but we don't count because we're on the other side.
It's a vast right-wing conspiracy. That's why.
Vast right-wing conspiracy, which also is going to break to air commercials. So with the vast right-wing conspiracy here at WIND, we're going to be back with more on Target Radio after these messages. And you are listening to AM560 The Answer.
From the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Paul Bodenloss with a look at the roadways. On the Jane Addams heading westbound, it's pretty heavy between Arlington Heights Road and Gulf Road. Also on the Kennedy inbound, it's a little heavy between the Hubbard Street Tunnel and the Burns Circle interchange. O'Hare to downtown is 21 minutes. From the junction takes 11 minutes. On the Eisenhower inbound, Thorndale to the post office, that's 29 minutes. From Manheim takes 16. On the Dan Ryan heading inbound, it's heavy between Pershing Road and the Burns Circle interchange. And on Lakeshore Drive heading southbound, it's heavy between 18th Street and the Stevenson Expressway. Over in Indiana on 94, again, heading eastbound between State Road 149 and 421. That's a heavy drive. Also, the westbound lanes are heavy between 421 and State Road 149. Tonight, 72 in clear skies. Tomorrow, 89 in storms. Currently, it's 82. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560, The Answer.
The 1 year anniversary of what? A young thug got shot and killed.
The Joe Walsh Show.
A year later, we're honoring him. A year later, Ferguson again is burning. Ferguson is looting, shooting at police officers. We've learned nothing. We've learned absolutely nothing in a year.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM560. The Answer.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Kitchen need a makeover? Tired of your outdated bathroom? Did a big box store raise more questions than answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million square feet of marble and granite countertops and 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot installed. Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home, only better.
Our family had a savings account until our air conditioner needed replacing.
We had a vacation fund before our refrigerator had a meltdown.
My family has no savings and our water heater just quit.
Sadly, sometimes it only takes one home system or appliance breakdown to bust your budget. But buying a home warranty from American Home Shield protects more of your hard-earned money because they help pay your covered repairs for you. For valuable free information, go to ahs.com or call 1-800-552-2216. Who wants to pour money into repairs for things like your air conditioner, refrigerator, plumbing, oven, or washer when you get the budget protection you deserve from American Home Shield? It's up to you. Pay for expensive home system and appliance repairs yourself Or let AHS help pay covered repairs for you. Protect more of your hard-earned money. For valuable free information, including terms, rates, and coverage, go to ahs.com. That's ahs.com. Or call 1-800-552-2216. 1-800-552-2216.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more. Affect your life.
Radio, give us a call. 312-642, stumble there, 5600. And we have Louise on from Chicago. Louise, you have a comment about my rant?
Yeah, this is Louis.
Louis, I'm sorry.
How are you? I'm just, responding to what you were saying about that, no longer, that we don't have morality plays, where in the old days they would have a moral ending. But they still do that, but it's liberal morality plays. If you'll notice, the homosexual message is always the right message. Right to abortion is always good. This thing about animals. I mean, I'm not for killing animals, but it's more important than what Planned Parenthood did. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they got their own agenda, their own morality.
Actually, Louis, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. That's true. We still have morality plays. It's a different morality.
Yeah, it started with that All in the Family, the Norman Lear thing, where you look at that. Anything conservative, right wing is way out, is screwy. They just reversed everything, and it's crazy. I mean, it's a total rejection of the the basis, the foundation of this country.
And the interesting thing about that is, I used to watch All in the Family. I liked it. It was a funny show. It's very subtle stuff when they feed this to you, spoon feed it to you. It's very subtle.
Well, Archie Bunker's a straw man. You'll notice. They're using him to kind of like, as someone who's, way out, and every value that, might be a conservative value, they give to him.
Right.
Yeah, they painted him as extreme.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a really interesting observation, Listen. I hadn't thought about that when I was writing my rant for the night.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you much for giving us a call.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
He's absolutely right. We do still have morality plays. It's just a different morality.
Yes.
But the interesting thing about that is, it's a morality of division rather than we're all supposed to do the right thing and get along. Right. It's a morality of everybody segmented into different groups.
It's disguised as tolerance, though.
That's what they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing tolerant about it.
No, because they don't tolerate anything that's outside of what they decide to endorse. If you're on their list of protected groups, like Muslim homosexuals, then you're tolerated. But if you're not on the list, like Christians and Jews, then you're not.
And the thing is if you disagree, you're racist or you're homophobic, or you can never just disagree with somebody.
Right.
That's no longer, viable.
Right. You can't have just an intellectual argument that is different from theirs.
Well, the problem is you can have an intellectual argument. You have to have somebody that has intellect.
We were talking about my cousin on Facebook. I have a cousin who's a liberal, and she made the mistake of commenting on something that my mom posted, and she got the conservative beat down of her life, I think.
Well, you saw what I wrote.
Couple of days, yeah.
I wrote that. She was ranting. Well, maybe not ranting, but she was barking about black people being shot by cops, and I just made the observation. It's interesting that every time it's happened, they've had a rap sheet. It's never some poor guy feeding his family going to work.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. It's always somebody who just by chance happens to have a felony rap sheet trying to attack a cop.
Right.
We shoot those people. We got John in Crete. John, how you doing this evening? John,
how about you?
It's your magic moment. There you go. So what's your comment, John?
Well, I asked you a question. How are you, Dave?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just ducky, John. Thank you.
Okay, and hi to Gretchen Fritz. And hi, Gretchen Fritz.
Hi, John. How are you this evening?
Good. How about you?
I'm well, thank
you. Okay, let's try and get to the show.
Good. Can I want to comment? It took me months and months and months to find to know that Gretchen's name is Gretchen Fritz.
Well, all you got to do is look on Facebook.
Pardon me?
All you have to do is, don't you go to our Facebook page?
Okay, I don't have the internet. But here,
okay.
When I heard you talking, David Mondo, I said, I hear you talking. I don't know who was supplying all those things. Congratulations. Thanks for talking about Joe Walsh he was on recently, and he said that the blacks in California, 50% of blacks are getting help by the government, and some fantastic numbers, 70% of legal and illegal immigrants in California are getting assistance, and he said it's going to lead unrestrained to a dictatorship. Now, I wrote a column 10 years ago, The Dictatorship of Moral Relativism, and I just want to read one sentence. Dictatorship is a form of government with absolute control and no effective constitutional limitations. And I want to say something. Movement, everything. One thing stood out. One of the leaders said that don't hate, because if you hate, you fear. But Jesus Christ said, you were taught to love God and hate your neighbor. Jesus says, I have a new law: love God and love those who hate you. So the civil rights movement was bad. And there's one more thing I want to say. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. You know, the lid is off. People feared to criticize the Mexicans and the blacks, and I think Trump did something good to overcome that. But Bill O'Reilly was talking to the man from Vision something, and this Vision company cut him off. But Bill O'Reilly said to him, "Are you Catholic?" And he said, "Well, no." That he dropped his Catholic religion, and he kept trying to say black. But Bill O'Reilly nailed him again. Said, "Are you a Christian?" And he kept trying to say black, and he said, "No, I dropped that." What it was is the Mexican movement never had any foundation. It copycat off the civil rights.
All right, John, we appreciate it. Thanks for the observation. And I agree with some of that. I really do. We got Bob from Downers Grove as an interesting question. Bob, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing pretty good, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting point you want to make.
I think maybe a parallel to that to get to my point. If you go back to the gubernatorial election of 1998, I'm a conservative, but I voted for Glenn Pochard. He was a downstate conservative Democrat congressman.
I remember him.
Okay? Yep. He was probably more right to the right, even economically, than George Ryan. He was a cultural conservative. He would have taken the power out of Chicago, and a lot of Republican voters quickly would have realized, hey, this is pretty good. He's pretty much allied with most of the people except the far left liberals, and some of the capitalists might not like it, but a lot would. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to form, like, essentially, we're so far left economically that we need to grab all the cultural conservatives in one party and have this giant quasi-capitalist socialist movement for now. And that's what the liberals have, you know.
I want to write that down. Quasi-capitalist socialist. What was that? That's pretty good.
Well, that's where we're at now. We're essentially in socialism. I mean, we got more spending in government than China. They think we're nuts.
Well, Bob, I certainly have to agree with that. And the comment that George put up on the screen was that you had made is, can we get the liberals out of power now? And that's in between the breaks here, we've been talking about Hillary Clinton. Look at all the scandals that this woman is involved in, and somehow she's like the Teflon Don. I mean, they roll off her back like water off a duck.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get, though, the Joe Six-Packs out of the Democrat Party, okay? They're culturally conservative, but rightfully or wrongfully so, they'll vote Democrat to put food on their table for their family, even though they get all angry when they see Jesse Jackson marching around or something.
Well, you're absolutely right. And we know people who are like that.
And I think the problem is the other side of the coin really is that there's so many rhinos in our party that, they claim to be Republicans and people keep voting for them and they're really not Republicans.
Right.
And so, it makes it increasingly difficult to perpetuate the philosophy that you want to perpetuate.
Yeah. And here, the truth is, in any party, I don't care which one it is, nobody agrees with everybody.
No, of course not.
There's always differences in between. More often than not, among conservatives, we try and sort of accept the other. Well, he's kind of a little nutty, but it's okay. Liberals literally try and segregate you into groups so that you're competing with one another, and they're like the common denominator that holds it all together. And that's basically a load of, you know what. All right. We're going to be back with more. When we come back with more on Target Radio, we're going to talk about a judge who's finally telling the feds they better stop granting amnesty like now. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, weigh in. And we'll be back with more on Target Radio. You're listening to AM560, The Answer.
This election season, there's only one place in Chicago where you can weigh in with your opinion on all the candidates, from the debates to the primaries.
If it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be talking about illegal immigration.
From the conventions to Election Day.
What is he for? I have no idea whether he's conservative.
We need to control our border.
It's important to be qualified.
We're your election headquarters in Chicago.
I'm a conservative, pro-life governor in a state where it's really tough to be both.
We're AM560, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. A deadly mid-air collision in South San Diego County. First responders finding
2 aircraft down, both fully involved with fire into the vegetation.
CAL FIRE Division Chief Nick Schuler. 4 people were killed. Both a Cessna and business jet had been cleared to land. 1 person dead, another hurt when a small plane reporting engine trouble crashed on the tracks today, shutting down the Long Island Railroad in both directions.
This really tragic incident could have been obviously much worse. There was no train going through at that point, but the crossing was open. So, there was a possibility there could have been cars going through.
Railroad spokesman Salvatore Arena. Straight out of Compton about the California rap group NWA topping the box office, making $56.1 million its debut weekend. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Paul Bodenloss with a look at the roadways. On the inbound Edens from Lake Cook to the junction, it's 25 minutes. The Edens spur ramp heading eastbound is heavy as well between Waukegan Road on the Tri-State spur ramp and the Edens Expressway. On the Kennedy inbound, it's a little slow between the Hubbard Street Tunnel and the Circle Interchange. O'Hare to downtown is 21 minutes. From the junction is 11. On the Eisenhower inbound, Thorndale to the post office is 29 minutes. From Manheim takes 16. On the inbound Stevenson from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, that's 36 minutes. From the Tri-State is 26. Dan Ryan inbound heavy between Pershing Road and the Burn Circle Interchange. And on Lakeshore Drive heading southbound, it's pretty heavy between 18th Street and the Stevenson Expressway. Taking a look at the temperatures tonight, 72 and clear skies. Tomorrow, 89 and thunderstorms pretty late. Currently, it's 82. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560, The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Kitchen need a makeover? Tired of your outdated bathroom? Did a big box store raise more questions than answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million square feet of marble and granite granite countertops and 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot installed. Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home only better.
When flipping houses, there's one golden rule. Cash talks. I'm going to show you how you can easily get $10,000 plus all the cash you'll ever need for free. I'm Andrew Holmes, popular radio show host and founder of Chicago's #1 flipping team. And I've flipped over 600 houses in Chicago right under your nose. And now I'm going to show you how. I'm holding a free seminar right here in the Chicagoland area where I'll give a select few the opportunity to use my funding to flip houses and net up to $40,000 per deal without spending a dime of your own money. You don't need good credit and you don't need any of your own money. If the deal is good, you'll get the funds. The first 100 people to call 844-MONEY40 and register will receive my Blueprint to Real Estate Wealth System for free. All you have to do is find a great deal and pass it on to me, and I'll give you $10,000. Time is running out. Seating is very limited. Call 844-MONEY40. That's 844-MONEY40.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Hi, I'm Rick Cizak, the Advertising Sales Director for the On Target Media Group. If you own a small business and need more exposure to potential customers, and what small business doesn't, we can help. For over 2.5 years, the On Target Media Group has been helping small businesses grow. We offer many different and affordable marketing packages, and even create a custom program tailored to your business's needs. To find out more, contact me today at sales.ontargetradio@gmail.com or visit our website at otmediagroup.net/sponsorship. We look forward to helping your business reach its target.
We have a comment on Facebook from our friend Michael in New York City. There is no debate with Obama. If you disagree with him, he will try to destroy you. Look at Senator Menendez from New Jersey. He opposed Obama on the Iranian issue, and then the Obama goons have been trying to ruin him ever since.
That's the style of this president.
It is. It is.
And
him and Axelrod and Valerie Jarrett, his whole crew.
And, you know, I mean, to be fair, on the Republican side of the aisle, there have been presidents, there have been ruthless presidents, there have been presidents that get what they want, and I get that. If you're president of the United States, I understand that.
Well, right. You don't get to be president by being like not egomaniacal, you know, not a little bit narcissistic.
It's just this guy's taken it to an art form.
Oh, it's
everything.
It's beyond the beyond.
Yeah, everything he does is that way.
It's extreme.
It's you know, the amnesty thing, illegal alien amnesty thing. That's a good segue, isn't it? That's a good segue.
Yeah, that'll work.
That whole thing, the Judge Andrew Hanen said, you know, you can't do it. You got to stop doing this. And he says, the court does not consider mere substantial compliance after an order has been in place for 6 months to be acceptable, and neither should counsel. They just ignore stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They bypass Congress. They ignore a judge's lawful order.
Right after the ruling, there was from the White House director. She's like, it's important to put it in context because the broader executive actions are moving forward. It's like, you know, a judge tells you to stop and they go, well, but does that really mean stop?
I think this is Obama. This was in October of 2010. He said, I am president. I am not king. That all by itself is things by myself. I've got to have partners to do it. If Congress has laws on the books that say that people who are here who are not documented have to be deported, then I can exercise some flexibility in turn. We deploy our resources, focus on people who are just trying to work and support themselves. Because I'm obliged to execute the law. And here's the line. I can't judge up by myself.
Really?
This is Obama, who, of course, he doesn't make up laws by himself. He just ignores them.
Well, and I think the irony is he's saying that like he's having oppressor, and he's going, I can't just make the, but then in the Oval Office behind, going to do this. It's going to have actions.
And it's not, he's surrounded himself with people that feed off of this. And it's a little hard to know actually who's running the show. It could be Valerie.
No question.
Yeah, it's really, but there's a cabal of people, and they're like an orchestra. Okay,
yeah, I agree.
And is that a conspiracy or not? Is there a conspiracy there? Do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kurt thinks there's a conspiracy there, don't you, Kurt?
Anytime that there's two people that are conspiring like that, it's a conspiracy.
There you
Two
go.
or more people, that's a conspiracy. One person by themselves, I don't think so. But when there's more than one, it's a conspiracy. I was going to just say the Arco, but now it's so evident because Congress the last 40 years, they're just special interest lobbyist groups. You have unconstitutional judicial activism, mostly starting with the Warren Court. Then you've had the false flag wars, Spanish-American War. You had the phony sinking of the USS Maine, World War I. You had the sinking of the Lusitania, got us in that war. World War II, Pearl Harbor attack may or may not have been a sneak attack by Japan. Vietnam, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, obviously was a false flag. Invasion of Iraq, 2003, weapons mass destruction. There were none. That was a false flag. And now these neocon chicken hawks want to get us into a war with Iran that has a population of 80 million. Iraq had a population of under 30 million, and that was, and it was divided along Shiite, Kurd, and Sunni.
Well, Kurt, a lot of what you say, I do agree with. And I mean, I know the whole Gulf of Tonkin was, that was issued. And we got into the Second World War, really. We were put in the Second World War, if you're going to be honest about it. That's how that came about. We blockaded the Japanese, and the poor Japanese have no natural resources, so they were kind of lost. Well, we're going to talk more about this. We got to take a break now, but we'll talk a little bit more about this when we come back. And we're also going to talk a little bit about cars being susceptible to being hacked. All that more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Taking a look at the road, some road work delays on the inbound Edens from Gulf to Toohey, 27 from Lake Hook. Outbound side is 21 heavy Devon up to Toohey, and you're still jamming up on that eastbound spur ramp at Waukegan Road. Kennedy Inn is a solid delay from Harlem all the way to Montrose with a crash off to the side, 28 from O'Hare to downtown.
And what are we going to tell them what we're going to say? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to say. We didn't cover the Obama trying to circumvent Congress on
the UN
on the Iran deal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So maybe
that's one of the sheets in there.
Maybe we want to circle back to that. But you could tell them, write in on Facebook and give us some suggestions.
Exactly.
If you want.
No, let's do that because you're right. We didn't cover it. And while he said
it's the Iran deal. Yeah. Obama's trying to circumvent Congress. That's.
And now you're going to talk because you know about cars, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, we're going to get him to actually talk.
Interact with me and I'll talk.
Okay. We're getting calls. This is good. This is good.
And we've also got a pretty good amount of watchers today, and also our friends over at gunchannels.com are watching.
What counts as a pretty good number of watchers? 10. Well, just right up there.
Yeah, this many. So
you can put advertising ratio. How many you got? 10. Yeah.
It's a start. Some of the bigger channels only get a small amount of actual live viewers.
So what do you mean by gun watchers watching us?
Gunchannels.com is a website kind of like that Full 30 that I showed you, sort of in a sense. I don't know how else to really compare it, but you'll have to check it out and kind of see for yourself. But they actually have a live chat every night with people talking about guns and different politics and all types of stuff.
You said they're watching us.
They're watching us on the live stream.
Day.
The people in the chat.
You guys want me on it?
The whole thing?
Sorry, I heard you got a Democratic.
How many people are there?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are actually out of that chat are watching, but at least one or two or a couple.
Okay,
Oh,
Because one of them is actually responding to it. So Congress circumnavigating.
circumventing Congress.
I can't.
Got another call coming in. Need a 2-hour show.
It's hot tonight.
2-hour show.
Congress circumventing the UN. Is that right?
Yes. No,
not
circumventing
circumventing
Congress.
the UN. It's the president
I'm sorry.
circumventing Congress by going to the UN
Yeah, the president circumventing
over the
Congress.
Iran deal. Iran? Yeah,
Yeah.
Iran.
Iran.
I'm sorry, I had it all backwards.
Let's see what this guy has to say.
10 seconds.
My rant started.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
I pulled that one out of my ass.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was.
No, it's plain to the audience, certainly.
With Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back. On Target Radio. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Weigh in on this little jewel. If you, they collect every email we do. They listen to every phone conversation we have. They got satellite that can read your license plates now. They got face recognition. Could it get worse? Well, sort of. Now they have figured out how to take control of your car while you're driving it. Now, our own Rick is a master mechanic and is going to explain how this insanity could be possible.
Correct. I'm not just a technician of 16 years and internet sensation with YouTube at Big Gun 81.
There you go.
Actually, well, see, a lot of the things in the cars today are so advanced, as we all know. For example, we have like drive-by-wire where your throttle is no longer controlled by a cable mechanically. So you have a module that controls it. It's all driven by wires and an electric motor.
Airplanes are doing that now,
Right.
fly-by-wire.
So you got your throttle, your brakes are getting to be that way. You know, all the systems on the car. So it's all networked, and hence, just like a computer, it can be hacked into as long as you can connect to it. Which, for example, they have Bluetooth, you know, and the you know, like the OnStar setup with the satellite and all that.
Mhm.
You know, if you can connect to it through that, yeah, you can take over anything as long as you know how to do it.
See, wait a second, though. This doesn't make sense because, all right, so with fly-by-wire, for instance, which is sort of what you're talking about, it's a self-contained system. When you put a control input, it digitizes it and sends it out, and it performs what you want it to do. But it's not like you talking to it. This says these people are doing this with a cell phone, with
Right.
text messages.
I can't tell you how they're doing that exactly, but they're able to communicate with it. So however they are communicating with it using the wireless technology that we have, they're able to do that, to take control over it.
You can talk to your car. That's
Yeah,
what you're telling
in
me.
a sense, yeah.
I don't know that I want to know what my car
You know,
thinks. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, the data that they give off too, like the Bluetooth. Nowadays, you can pull up to a dealer with some vehicles and some dealerships, and the Bluetooth will actually communicate before you even, as soon as you pull in the lot, before you even walk in the building. They'll know your VIN number, then they'll pull up to their database, you know, why you're there, you know, all that kind of stuff. They'll give you all the data right away. Check engine lights on, it'll tell you what codes are in it.
This guy was driving somewhere, and somebody, right? Isn't that what it was? And somebody took over his car.
Right. And your power steering assist too. They're
Right.
moving to electronic power steering assist. So that's another computer with a module with wiring, and it's all integrated
They
together.
took the steering away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do that. I mean, we're able to even hook up our diagnostic equipment and take control of things.
Well, this
on the car.
wasn't rogue though. It was an experiment. It was researchers did it on purpose.
No, I
So
understand.
the guy behind the wheel knew that that's what they
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
attempting to do.
But yeah,
we
no,
don't want to make it sound like this is already happening like
No,
out in the
but
world.
I imagine that since it's possible, if there's a high risk target, you know, that anything could happen with that.
Well, and see, that's my point. I mean, you're right. I wasn't clear.
Yeah,
This wasn't some.
it sounded worse than it actually
It wasn't
is.
some guy driving down the road and then somebody on the side of the road goes, ha, 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 ha. But the point is, they could do it.
Right.
It's a
Well,
glimpse to the future.
It'll be in the next James Bond movie.
It'll be the face.
Yeah.
It'll be the face of somebody hitting a bridge abutment. That's what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
our future acts of terrorism could be handled just wirelessly.
You're listening on Target Radio, AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Tell me if you would like people, you know, standing on the side of at a traffic light and they want to cross and they see a car coming and they call you on the phone and they crash into another car. I don't know. This is What aspect of our life is not being poked at by somebody?
There isn't one. There isn't one, and this was predicted. I mean, this is iRobot. This is
1984.
1984, right? Exactly. Back to the Future 2. I mean,
Even
I don't care what book or movie
even
you care to name.
1984 was not this in depth. This goes beyond the pale.
Well,
This stuff.
he apparently didn't have a very good imagination, but
Well, you're right.
But I think that they sort of brushed by it. I mean, I think that he, Orwell got close and, gave some people some ideas and they just took it and ran with it. Now that we actually have that technology, but yeah, it's really freaky. And, it like with the phones, it's like, okay, I'm going to turn off my location so that people on Facebook don't know where I am, so that it's not like locating me when I don't want it to locate me. But then you turn on another app and it's like, well, I have to have this in order to work. So
exactly.
So, they sort of de facto get you to comply, to sign up for it because you need it for something else that you actually do want to do.
They have TV sets that now watch you in your home and transmit
I have one.
information. Yeah, you did say that. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
My TV listens to me and it spies on me and it tells Samsung what we're talking about. Luckily, in my house, we don't talk to each other very much. So luckily, our smart TV is sitting there going,
dysfunctional.
yeah.
Well, the data
I'm not
collection,
sure I'm still working.
some like the insurance companies now have that little plug-in module you put into your diagnostic port in your car.
Yeah.
So they can record
yeah.
Like, if you're speeding and so forth. And everything. It's
I've heard that.
there's no your loss of privacy.
Yeah.
Totally. For a discount. You're selling out.
This is it's just a little weird.
Our friend Ed Ronkowski wrote in on Facebook. He said it would be an interesting defense in a drunk driving prosecution. Judge, somebody hacked into my car and made it weave.
Wasn't me. I didn't
do it. I was not drunk.
This drinking don't bother me.
My car was hacked. I wasn't drunk.
There you go.
And if anyone could try that case, it would be Ed Ronkowski.
Yes, it would.
It's not like we solved anything. Are we going to do segment 6 tonight?
Yes, we are. We're going to be, I guess, talking about the president trying to circumnavigate Congress with the UN Iran deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We didn't get to that one.
Any other suggestions anyone else has that are out there on Facebook, let us know.
Probably be like, go home.
There you go. Go home early.
All right,
You're tired.
We're gonna wrap this whole thing up when we come back after a few messages with more on Target Radio, and you are listening to AM560 The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Are you willing to pay more for life insurance than you should? Well, did you know you could save as much as 70% on term life insurance? Hi, I'm Brent Langdon for AIG Direct. We partnered with American General Life to find you their most affordable rates on term life insurance products. And I mean affordable. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. Call 1-800-941-9366. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how much we could save you. It only takes 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%, and the call is absolutely free. Call 1-800-941-9366. That's 1-800-941-9366.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio, and we've got more to give you. We got Gretchen coming up.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
The 2015 Midwest Valor Games, an introductory adaptive sports competition for veterans and active service members with physical and visual disabilities, will be held in Chicago August 18th to 20th. Events include discus, shot put, cycling, archery, powerlifting, and indoor rowing. For a complete schedule and more information, go to worldsportchicago.org. I put the link on our Facebook page earlier today. A big thank you to Ron Hafman for his generous donation to help keep On Target Radio on the air. The following Safer USA classes are all at our office in Waterman. Saturday, August 22nd, Tactical Rifle 1 and 2, taught by Eric.
I'll be there.
Saturday and Sunday, August 22nd and 23rd, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, August 29th, Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. Saturday, August 29th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Saturday, September 5th, Illinois Concealed Carry 2, taught by Gretchen, for those who have an exemption for the first 8 hours. Saturday and Sunday, September 5th and 6th, NRA Pistol Instructor, taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on Register.
And that's what you got coming up. We got a good schedule coming up, so that's nice. And we have in the studio our old friend Russ Gangler, living sports.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. You got something good tonight. That was a really trashy thing to say. Oh, tonight you got something good.
For a change.
We got a great guest tonight, Bruce Miles, Cubs writer for the Daily Herald. Will be on for the first half hour of the show. And in the second half hour, we're going to talk a lot more Cubs baseball, obviously, with Bruce, talk about some other topics. And also, we are giving away a Starling Castro autographed jersey card tonight. Whoever wins the trivia question, the second half of the show.
Ooh, I'm going to have to call in.
What's the trivia question? You're not telling me.
You can check it out in about 35 minutes.
Well, we'll be doing segment 6 in there.
So I think it'll be done about 10:30.
That makes us ineligible.
I heard real quick, I want to say my condolences to Gretchen. I heard earlier on the show that she's got a liberal cousin friend, so I'm sorry about that, but I heard she was taken care of.
Where's the sound effect for that?
We beat some of it out of her.
Good.
She's probably not listening to the show, so you can,
no, I don't
say
think
anything
she
you
listens.
want.
It's archived. She can watch it later.
She's in Colorado, but I don't think she listens online.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then we're going to do segment 6 coming up on the president trying to bypass Congress by going to the UN. So that's within 10 minutes after we sign off. We'll be on.
YouTube.com/On Target Radio.
So we're going to do that. And, things are going swimmingly. We need sponsors. We need sponsors.
We also need people to sign up for classes because I haven't worked all month. Okay.
That's true.
Just want to say that.
It's been slow. It has been.
It has
slow.
been.
Yeah. We had a nice class today. This weekend was 2 days, basic rifle class, but it was small,
Where is that at?
Out in Waterman, beautiful downtown Waterman, Illinois,
west of Sugar Grove.
I signed up for a class. We'll be there this week coming up.
That's true.
The following too.
You do. Yeah. So I don't know. We're getting there. A little at a time, right, Gretchen?
Yes.
Yeah. Sad or not.
Clawing and scratching.
Yeah.
You guys talk about Trump at all tonight, or?
I just mentioned him because the Republicans and the Democrats are both lining up against him, which means he's doing something right.
He's doing a lot right. Yeah, absolutely.
He's saying what people want to hear. We'll see what happens.
It's like I always say, if you're not taking fire, then you're not over the target.
Did you like the private plane coming into Iowa there? I mean, he came in on his private jet. Yeah.
I didn't catch it. Anyway, we got to go.
Okay.
Thank you for listening on Target Radio, and be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering the red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank George Hoffman on the board, our social media coordinator, Rick Cizak, and our sponsors, Disarms, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
Be sure to stick around for Living Sports with Russ Gangler after this, and thanks, Michael, for making it all happen.